Gotta have the good stuff. And the stuff, and the stuff. As you can see, everything is where it needs to be. The technological mise en scène, as they say. I'm so excited to do this. It's finally time to assemble this. Let's go open!
Hey everyone, I moved my merch store from that website that shall not be named that screwed my couple orders up to Fourth Wall. Check this out. With all new stuff, well, I mean some of the old stuff which you liked, but now this new shirt, the 8-bit console retro shirt that resembles another thing that shall not be named because I don't want to get copy strike. Copy strike? What the hell? What the f***? So yeah, go check out the new stuff. It feels good. I'm wearing one right now and it feels great. So yeah, buy my shit.
So, last week was a lot of fun. I don't really... There's a lot of stuff that I like every single day. I'm thinking of stuff that I want to add to this, and it would make so much cooler. I know what I can do, and I know what I want to do. I hope I can get to at least 2 of the things that I want to do. So, with that in mind, I don't know how long it's been for you guys, but it is the next day for me, and I'm tired as all fucking hell because I had the school year started, and I wasn't quite used to getting up at 10 to 6 a.m. Jesus Christ, it's not natural. What did we do last week? So I cut the okay, so this thing's taking a Cooler Master 200 mil fan. So I had to do, there was a mount for 120s and 140s. I said no, fuck that, because it came with a 200. This thing wants a 200, so we're putting a 200 in. And but I wanted to cut all the other rails out, so that's what I did. And the cuts are some of the best I've ever done, and especially given that I couldn't use a Dremel on this. I had to go directly to the angle grinder. It was eating up the Dremel wheel like. I got barely an 1/8 inch, and it was just winding it down. So direct to the grinder. I am super impressed with my cuts. This is some of the best curvy stuff I've ever done, and it's not jagged at all. And all this with an angle grinder and like this file here. That's it. That's it. We've wired this bitch up, and I have glued this. It gets put into the motherboard. It just goes straight around like that. It's a little risky, but I think it looks really cool. Risky being like this is game terrain Mod Podged to, metal. So it could rip, but, whatever, that's on him. I'm being gentle as all hell with this. Underneath we have installed the Thermalright, this thing you can put so much ARGB on this bitch. The only reason I'm not doing the only reason I didn't go with ARGB and fan controller is because apart from whatever is on the motherboard, there's 2 fans on the case. That's it. And so 2 fans on the tower cooler or whatever they're putting on, and then 2 fans, one in the front and one in the back. You don't need a fan controller. So this is controlling the lights, which is very convenient because there are lights to control. So that's done and painted. This is the bottom. It is also, as you can see, a piece of game terrain. The idea is to have actual Space Marines that we hand painted. So much fun. So much fun. Space Marines and Tyranids that you can battle in, on this. And I put tiny little 1/4 inch rare earth magnets underneath their pedestals, so you can move them around and they'll stay right there. So if there's wind from the fan or whatever, it's not going anywhere. I'm so fucking happy with this. Also, at the time of this filming, it is in the Septembers, and so Evie, loving me, I don't deserve her. She got me this, and also she got me this. Oh God, I love this woman. So, Liquid Death. I've not had this in a long time. I'm sorry, Nas. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please give us money. Still love you, Nos. So anyway, this is the hard drive enclosure, which bolts directly to, not this. This is the rear plate. It bolts directly to that. And as it sits in here, it's a little under a quarter inch off the panel. So what I did was I used a piece that I was going to use for Reveille. It's just a cap for a power box, like an outlet box. You put it on there if you don't have anything to go in there, but you got wires. And I was going to use this for Reveille for the power switch, but I ended up going with this really cool sort of openy thing, like a talk box in the back of a tank. So I didn't use this, and so I put it in the box of useful garbage. I figured this might be just high enough to have like a step, so I painted it, and it looks fan-fugu-tastic.
Fan-fugu-tastic.
In the light, it's gonna look so sick. Oh my god, it's gonna look so good. Oh man. Yes. So that's done. This is done. I put foam pads where the power supply is going to go. That's done. That's done. All the brick is painted on the inner parts of the top part of each panel, as well as these two ribs, because these are the roof of the monastery. And then what I've done is I've painted the other two ribs sort of a fainted, like, titanium dirty to match that. Because that's like the underbelly of an imperial monastery. There's always shit underneath. I erred on the side of caution and didn't put like cables and shit running around because I didn't want to. There's enough shit going on the game terrain itself to warrant conservative additions. So I didn't, cause it would look cool, but there's so much going on the game terrain. That's why I've hidden this wire. Anyway, and when it's all plugged in, this is the only wire that's going to be plugged in this way. And since most people are going to have the computer like this, you're not even going to be able to see it. The RGB is behind everything, but that will work in my favor. As I'll show you. I think it'll work in my favor. So I'm so excited. God damn it! I went to the VA for this leg, and I have PT starting in a couple of weeks. Not fun. Thankfully, nothing is broken, nothing is torn permanently. And thankfully, the drill was right here. It's not quite as long, but it'll do. Anyway, you might be asking yourself, what the fuck is this thing? This is a riveter. I got really, really sick and tired of that stupid hand thing, so I sprung for the good stuff. It makes my drill look like a submachine gun, and I'm pretty happy about that. I fucking love this thing. I first used it last project on Reveille, and I was just like, oh, baby. You may or may not have heard some of the music that's been going on with this project. It's a project called The Hobbs Ritual, and the album is called A Beast is Awakened on This Path. Yes, or something like that. A lot of cool tracks about those blood marines, a lot of cool tracks about those blood angels, my very favorites. It's a shame what happened. F***ing Horus. Anyway, I have a very, very close relationship with Warhammer 40,000. It was one of my first tabletop games ever. Next to BattleTech, it was Space Hulk, the original tabletop Space Hulk. You know, with the Gene Stealers and the Blood Angels, and it was the fucking Blood Angels, man. I like the Ultramarines, but the Blood Angels, dude. That's who I am. That's who the fuck I am. Now you know. Okay, so music. I'm gonna listen to it, and you're gonna listen to it, and we're all gonna have a good time. Let's go. The fucking cover is really cool. I made this.
When skies were common gold, now every dawn is a war's return, every sunset a grave unmarked. Cry, crimson sun, through blood and pain. You fight though none remain, for Tycho's name the heavens fall, the angels rise and burn again. Cry, crimson sun. Sin sons fighting true.
Microphone died. So it's done. We did make it to the convention. Observe. And so, without having seen too much, I can now show you the big reveal.
Red suns rise in the chapel's glow. Silverwares and circus flow. Astartes hands craft the code for the emperor's throne. Reload, steel and plasma molten veins. Binary imps, machine refrains. Through the void we carve the gate. Blood angels rise and
Hi! Guess what? It's been another couple of months. Why? Okay, so the convention was great. As you can see, didn't sell it. And now the reason why we were filming here at the house is because I actually planned to film the reveal at the convention. What happened was I was way too busy for that. The convention actually had the effect that it was supposed to have. While I didn't sell this, the case, we did pick up a client, which you'll see in quite a few, and maybe the next build? I don't know. There's no timeline for that yet, so I might just do another passion project first. We'll see what he says. But we did get a client. That said, look at it! Okay, so here's the thing. We're all going to discover this a little bit together. So, what did we do? We took a Thermaltake Core V21 and turned it into this. So, a Core V21 has 4 interchangeable panels. Now, you can move all of them around, which is exactly what we did. The only thing you're really not supposed to move around is the motherboard panel, which is exactly what we did. We removed the top panel in place of a large polycarbonate panel, complete with all the paintings and stuff Did some leather stripping here to give it a little bit of a cushion, because while these magnets are doing the job, this is just magnetic strip right here. I'm going to take the dice out. So right here, this is some leather strip left over from the dice tray. And then this is just some magnetic strip I had in the workshop. So the leather strip is doing a good job of cushioning when it's placed onto the case, and the magnetic strip is keeping it in place. So top panel gone. In place of this, complete with a nice little window that you can put the homemade dice tray in. The dice tray, of course, has the microchip in it. I might actually, I have an Etsy store. I might actually just start making these and selling them, because this was a lot of fun. With the top panel, what we did was, aside from the leather strip and the magnetic strip, I took a soldering iron and melted all this brick paneling into, well, I'm just going to call this the flue, and the into the window and the window casing, and it turned out really, really well because it's all uneven and stuff. And then I painted it Mechanicus gray because we're keeping with that theme. And then I just slapped a load of nightshade on here to age it up. And then I did a couple of more things. Side panels. We removed the side panels in place of completely new polycarbonate panels once again. And we took what's called foam core, cut hundreds of bricks for the outside and the inside of each panel. And then what I did was I made transparencies. One is of the God Emperor, and then the other over here is of Sanguinius. Now, you would think that these tiles are interchangeable. They're actually not, because what I did was I made it in such a way so that each panel goes in a certain way. So the window is actually forward of center. And I did that on purpose so you'd actually be able to see more of what's going on past the air cooler. Hundreds of bricks later and some spray paint, and we have side panels that are magnetically connected to the case using, I think it was like 15 each side, each panel. I spray painted it all Mechanicus gray, and thanks to Monica at the Warhammer store, I used some of this sort of mold, sort of like the molding sponge stuff, and then I sprayed it with some spray adhesive, and Bob's your uncle, it's not moving, and it looks fucking fantastic. And then I used a bunch of different paints that she suggested to make it seem as if the rest of the area was molding around it too. But not before. What I did, after I painted the brick, I slap topped it with some, I think I just slapped it with some wraith bone to give it a little bit more of a wear and tear, and then I put the mold on it. The purity seal is actually self-made. This is the microchip inside of a cog, and then I took these, which I never actually filmed, and this is cool. When I was bringing it up here to set it all up, I flooded the paper a little bit, and a moth popped out, so I took it outside. It's December. I told him, "You got one shot, kid," and I let him go. Because I love my wife. Otherwise, I would have just crushed it and thrown it in the garbage, because he has no shot out there. But my wife's a hippie. So the purity seals. I just took some regular paper. I printed out 2 different liturgies. This is to the machine god, and this is to Sanguinius. These are all lore-friendly Latin, and on this side it says HMODs, and then it says Astartes right here. So this is the Sanguinius panel, and you'll notice it has the same sort of treatment. And I didn't show you this, but on the inside of each panel, here's 2 notches, and then on the other side of the notch of the thing, there's 2 notches so that you know which ones go where. And then apart from that, I painted the outline of this with the lead belcher and the Blood Angels red. I just love Blood Angels red. It's so nice. These two panels together probably took me about 20 hours to do. The transparencies were a lot of fun to make into like stained glass sort of images in Photoshop. That didn't take me that long. The bricks and everything else took me so long. Next thing was the frame. We took everything apart. I painted it the same Leadbelcher Blood Angels red color. On the back here, all I did was spray paint some of the some hammered steel spray paint, and I left it like that because I think it looks cool. I had thought about painting it the red and stuff, but I thought you gotta break it up a little bit, so that's what I did. And then on each of the 4 ribs, and the front and the back panel, I hand painted these moldy brick colors. You can see it, the moldy brick colors all around to sort of keep with the monastery theme. That was a lot of fun, but not before I took my angle grinder and cut the bigger hole for the 200 mil fan. There was a slot to mod smaller fans, and I didn't want that to get in the way of the airflow, so I just cut it out. And quite frankly, it's some of the most solid angle grinding that I've ever done. So that's painted. That was painted, hand painted all the way through. A lot of people at the convention thought this stuff was 3D printed, which I took as a huge compliment. And I had a whole lot of time telling countless people, no, I did this all by hand, man. And then watching their eyes go bug-eyed. It was a lot of fun. Oh, the game terrain. So, motherboard panel, and then the bottom panel, which you can still remove, by the way. Motherboard panel, and then the bottom panel, I took some Mod Podge and I adhered a whole lot of the game terrain that came in the box with the minis. And now it is a completely usable piece of Warhammer game terrain. I did the same thing with the hard drive bay. I put the game terrain on there. And underneath it, since it's actually not on the floor of the case, I put this little power box cover on there and then painted it up to match it up. And it's seamless. It's damn near seamless. This is all apart from the fact that I spent probably about 40 hours, maybe 50 hours painting just these. And I adhered magnets to each one of them so they will not blow away with the giant fucking 200 mil fan. Just looking at this, I want to do more. Like, it's a lot of fun, and not having looked at them in a while, I want to do more. This is like addicting. Going from the book nooks to the Space Marine minis was a nice jump, and I think I'm ready to do more. So we just picked up the Mass Effect Priority Hagalaz game that has minis in it, and then BattleTech, and then we have more Space Marines and Tyranids to do. So that's gonna happen. I just am so pleased with how this came out. And I hope whoever gets it is as pleased with me, because I don't want to see this go. It is for sale. I don't really care if we sell it. See ya. Oops.